Hello everyone, welcome to another Power BI related tutorial by Team Slidescope. In this part, we are doing a student performance record analysis where we are analyzing attendance percentage, or we are considering attendance percentage as our target field. Dataset is given like this. I will explain you about dataset. We will create some calculated columns using DAX switch function. We will also create some measures using functions like distinct count and then use them in visuals. I am using a classroom background for this canvas where in top row we have KPIs, and in these green boards or black boards we actually have these visuals, and below them we have these filters. So you can apply these filters and see for like what is performance of students from group C, what is performance of students who are in music extracurricular activities, or their exit attendance category is excellent. So everything that you see here is being done for attendance analysis. And then let's say students who have excellent attendance, so their average English score, average math score, average science score can be visualized. So everything that you see here will be discussed in this part, and in other parts we will build more subject focused dashboards as well, subject performance focused dashboards and overall performance dashboard. So let's get started with this first part. So the data set that we have with us today is student performance data set, where you can see we have student ID, their score in maths, their score in science subject, English, their attendance percentage, their gender, their grade level at which grade they are studying, and this is a study group, and their extracurricular activities or something in which they are involved. And here is detail about this data set, some questions that you can solve. So here you can see grade level study group. That means group assigned for collaborative learning. So like in group A, there will be some students, group B, group C, and so on. So all details are given here. Next thing will be to just load this data set in your favorite BI tool or programming language like Python, and then start analyzing it. So here is Power BI desktop. You can click on get data and click on text CSV file, where you can actually find the data set, and from here we will just upload it. Now you can see all the columns are properly mapped with their values. So we will load the data set, and here you can see. So we will simply rename this data as student. I will just write it as students or something, because if I will use it in if I'll use it in different DAX queries, then it will be easier for me to write those expressions. Now once dataset is uploaded, we have to prepare our canvas, and for this canvas I have created one image using AI, so which is going to work as our canvas background. So I will simply use this image. I've just created this image of classroom where I have 5 blackboards. So I'll try to put 5 visuals in these 5 blackboards. They are actually green boards. And here you can see. And we have more space to put other type of visuals. So that will be the use of these blackboards or green boards that we have for classroom. Before that, we have to put heading. So we will go to inside and we will add a text box. So obviously it will take 5 to 6 minutes to create this dashboard heading and all. So if you want to skip, you can skip, or if you want to see how we are doing it, you can keep watching it. Then we have this particular heading, student performance records data analysis. So I'll simply copy this, and this will be first dashboard. So student performance records data analysis dashboard. You can play in 1.25 speed if you want. So this is a student performance record data analysis dashboard. So you can write all words, the first letter as capital, and this is part 1. So we will align it to center, and we will use some color which is close to this green color. So like we have more colors, or we can actually go to view, and in view you will actually find some views where these colors are used. So something similar, for example, this is a very colorful palette called accessibility path. So we will select this heading, and we'll select this color, this close, and let's use 32. 32 is very big. Let's go with 28. Okay, and what I will do is I will simply go to effects and disable the background. So this is a student performance record data analysis dashboard, but I will enable visual border. For border also I will use the same color, and rounded corners will be around 12 pixel. And here you can see we have the border. Yeah, so you can see we have a light border here. So now our heading is there, and next is we will build some KPIs. So we have this particular area for KPIs. So for KPIs we will use these cards. In these cards we are going to put important measures or important fields here. So for example, in data set like this, we have 4 numerical fields and 4 or 5 other fields, where one field is identity of students. So you can see, so we have categorical and numerical fields. Once you have them, then exploratory analysis is easy. First you take all the categorical fields and try to create some KPIs. So first KPI will be how many students do we have. So instead of first student, we will do count distinct. So first add a card visual here, then add a student ID in this card visual, and then select call out value. So make sure it is selected. You can go to format your visual, where you will find call out value, where we will do around 25 or 30 as call out value. And here we have count of student ID written. For this we can select a different color, or probably this color. For category label you can select color like this. So this will be our first KPI visual, and here we will simply rename it as count of students. If you want, you can give it some transparency. So let's say we are going with this much transparency, 78 or 80% transparency. A visual border, let's say gray in color with 12 pixel rounded. It will appear like this. 250 is count of students. Then again I am going in the same setting. Here we have properties and padding. So I will reduce some padding from top, so that you can now see KPIs are properly fit. Then I will make a copy of it. To make a copy, press Ctrl C plus Ctrl V, or you can go to home, press copy and then paste. So this is also one way of doing it. Let's, yeah. For last some videos, what we are doing is we are creating some images like this, where we can actually put our visuals. So this may not be the best use of the entire space, but we are just adding creative reports. So like this will be report 1 or dashboard 1. In second dashboard we will do more analysis. So we have created more than 250 such reports where we have gone the conventional way. So that's why we are just adding some creative element here which you can use in your projects as well. So once we have created the copy, the next field that is for us is attendance percentage. It is already given as a percentage, it's not given as a fraction. So if in column tools we select percentage, you can see it will start showing it like this. So we will not do this, we will keep it as a percentage and then we will just add it here. So it is showing sum of percentage, we will select average. What is the average percentage of attendance? So we will just rename for this visual as average attendance percentage, which is 80%. So we are now using it. So we are using aligning them in center. Then we'll create another copy, Control C and Control V. Third visual for us will be English score, math score and science score. So, and before that, if we have more area, we can actually increase the size and we can make it bold as well. We'll copy formatting, apply it here and apply it here. So visuals are properly visible. Now instead of average attendance percentage, we'll select what is average English score. Average English score by these students. Let's get another copy, align it to center. What is average math score? So we'll just select math score here. Average math score. You can see average scores are very close to each other, like 69.8 to 69.91. And in a similar way, we will go with average science score. So it's more like a more of a fabricated data set. But if you will create on an actual data set, so you will be able to see some difference between these scores. Like there will be significant difference which you can use. Next, we also have some filters. So filters like gender, grade level can be filters. So we will use a slicer and this particular section we will keep for filters. So for example, here we will go and we will use gender as a filter and we will go with slicer settings and it will show it as a drop down list. So here you can see it is showing gender all. And one more thing, we can rename it here. So we can rename for this visual as gender. Let's reduce the size 10 pixel because I will just keep this space between the desk and the green board. And here this is value. So for value also we will use a small font. And then we have effects, we can disable the background and we can at least make them bold. So we can make it bold, values bold, header, at least header can be bold, values can be like this. So we can select female, male. And for actually for two values we can also go with a tile. So now this will be perfect. So if you select female, you can see their average attendance, you can see for male. So for with gender it is more, you can select here. We can go to general settings, effects, For this also we can enable a visual border. We can use this and rounded corner 12 pixel. So we can do it like that as well. So now you can see here additionally what we can do. We can disable slicer header. In general we can enable title, right, the title here. So that is also we can do. Next, after gender we will create another filter that will be grade level. So we will just bring grade level here. Here you can see we have grade level. So for grade level, because 4 or 5 different values are there, we can go to slicer settings and display it as a drop down. So you can see grade level. So here we will just go with title and change. So grade level. Next, as we have done grade level, we will create another, and here we are going to add study group. So this study group will also be like whether it's group A, group B or group C, and we will just change the title as study group. So if we select a study group A, in that study group you can see average English score is more. In group B it is 69, close to that, but in group C it is less. Attendance percentage, you can see how it varies across different groups. So suppose you have to predict something, like you have to, here target fields can be average English score, average math score or average science score, even attendance percentage. This type of things can be target field. So these different variables that we have will actually help us in creating that. They will help us in predicting that, because we are seeing that for all of them average score is changing. I will try to give some background color to it so that it is properly visible. Next, after a study group we can create another filter, and that filter will be extracurricular activities. So what type of extracurricular activity do they have, like art, music, sports, etc. So we will just go with extracurricular. So we have created 4 important filters that we have. Now you can see that attendance percentage is actually obviously given as a numerical value. Minimum attendance is 60 and maximum is 99.96, which is excellent. So we can also create a categorical column out of a numerical column based on these values. Something like if attendance is between 60 to 75, give it poor, 75 to 90, let's say good, or above that excellent, something like that. So for that we can create a new column, and we can actually create or use a DAX query here. So it will be attendance category, and here we just have to write students. So in switch we write true as our first argument in switch function, because this true will be returned when any of these conditions will be true. So for example, it will be like a loop. So if attendance percentage, for, let's say for this it is 68.43, is it greater than equal to 90? No. Is it greater than equal to 75? No. Is it greater than equal to 60? Yes. So we will call it average. Similarly for this is above 75. So good. Below 90. So every time true will be triggered, so that particular value will come as an answer. That's how you can actually categorize a numerical column. So now you can see average, good, excellent, and so on. So in the similar way as we have created this, we can also create attendance percentage. So we have the attendance category: average, excellent, good, poor, and on. So if you want, you can, yeah, expand it like this. In properties, general properties, I am reducing all the padding so that I can fit it in a width of this visual or below this blackboard. So, and here we will just write attendance category. So that will be our title. So this way you can create filters. You can create more filters, like similarly you can give grades in math score and science score, like grading it on grade A, grade B, or A plus, B plus, something like that can also be done with this same logic. That if numbers are above this, above 95, A plus, between 90 to 95, A, and that's how it will work. How a university or a board, basically gives instructions to allot these type of grades. So now we have different filters and everything, and now we will simply try to create some other type of visuals. So we have average English score, average math score, average science score. So we can create different dashboard. Let's say in one dashboard we are doing attendance analysis. So we are keeping attendance percentage as our target field. Then we can keep English, then math and science. So because we are doing attendance analysis, so we can copy. If you want, this is additional. So you can create a subheading like attendance analysis. So this will be like a subheading, and we can actually reduce its height because it's a subheading. So, and we can actually place it over there. So in this part we will consider attendance as our target field. So we will try to see different factors affecting attendance of these students. So first chart will be what is the attendance percentage per X for different genders, let's say. So for genders we usually use a donut or pie chart, like we can use. So we will just put it here, and in legend we are going to put the gender, and in values we will put average attendance score. So we will right click here and create a new measure. That measure will be average attendance percentage, and we will use average function and select average percentage from the field level, and this will create a new measure. It will be a single value, and here we will just add them. So this is average attendance percentage by gender. So we can increase its width or height. So we can write it like this. Here we can go select title, and we can reduce its height if needed, and we can select some color for title. Let's say we are going with the same color, we can make it bold. So you can see average attendance percentage is almost equal for them, 80, but slightly less in case of female. And you can go to visuals. So we can select this chart in general setting. We also have different type of values here. In visual setting we have detail labels, and we can select outside, but I think it is not showing because visual size is very small, you can see. So that's why it is not showing, and we can only show data value. You can see it is trying to show, but because space is very tight, it is not able to show that. We can say display units is auto. Let's say decimal places is 1 if we are going with, and We also have a legend position, so we can try bottom center or top center. So bottom center will be good. So now you can actually see those values as well. There is one more thing. If you want, you can try to remove this background, or you can just give it some transparency. That will be your choice. So for example, in effects we have background, and we can try to give it some transparency. Let's say if we go with 80% transparency, then these values will be very hard to read because they are on a dark background. So we have to go to title, and we can try a different color. Even if we have selected this palette, you can select something like this, or maybe more light in color. So we can use something like this. Whatever color fits your need, you can actually select that, and we can align it to center. So this, and you can see neither we are able to see legend or these values, so we can select similar kind of color for that as well. So for example, in legend there is a text color, so we can select a light text color. Similarly, in detail labels also we have a text color. We can select a light version of it, or we can select this version. So this is how you can create a visual. So if you want, you can create slices in different color as well, like these slices, but we can keep it like this. Then we will simply create a copy of this. So we will copy and paste, or control C, control V. Next we will see we have extracurricular activities, like these students participating in extracurricular activities. These activities like art, music, some are participating in none. Is the attendance being affected by that? So we can select a stacked column chart. Instead of gender, we can select extracurricular. So here you can see we are not able to see the axis, neither y or x axis. So neither y nor x axis. So we can go to color and select this. Then we will be able to see these colors. Okay. And since we are already saying that attendance percentage, we are doing attendance percentage analysis, because I just want to make the title in one line. So we can just do or write something like by extracurricular, by gender. So we'll be able to find out. Next is we have y-axis here. So in y-axis also we have values. So we can try to change the color. And if you don't want, you can disable the values. It will give our chart more area. Then we have data labels. We can switch them on. We'll be able to see those values. And we also have these columns, like we have different categories. So if you want, let's say for art, let's say we are going with this color, which is good. For music, let's say we are going with this color. For sports, we are going with this color. And for none, we are going with this color. So this way you can actually select different colors for different fields also. So that's how you can do, or different field values. Next we will copy and paste to create the third visual, and that will be grade level wise, by grade level. So we will just add grade level. So here grade level is given as grade 9, grade 11, and so on. So because these names are little bit bigger, so we can try to go with a horizontal chart. And now you can see, and let's try to adjust the percentage. So for x-axis or y-axis, like percentage is 25. What if we Yeah, what if we go with 26? Okay, in 26 we can see the grade level, and here you can see in data labels, three are outside, one is inside. So we can say position is inside it for all of them. So this is how you can actually decide for different grade levels. And now we can write by grade level. So we have this data by grade level. Now we can also learn one more way of coloring these bars. We can go with FX, that is conditional formatting. We can select a gradient rule. Instead of count of grade level, we can select average attendance percentage. If for a category it is a lower value, let's say we start with this blue color, and if it is a high value, we end with a light green color. So it is blue green diverging kind of gradient, and if you add it, then you will be able to see values like this. So average value 78 and highest value is 82. So from lowest value to highest value it is showing different colors. And we can also disable the legend to show these values. So this is how you can actually go with different colors for different levels. Usually when we create something like this, so we use a different kind of color for small values. So let's say we are going with this color. So now we have by different grade levels. By zooming we can easily adjust their height and width. So we can use zoom using this, or we can use mouse wheel as well. And then you can click here to fit. Now let's see in which study group do we have highest attendance percentage. We'll create another copy of this visual, and we can use a tree map also when we have to show category wise details. So here category name will be changed to study group. So we will just select a study group, and you can see we have group A, group B, group C. Let's enable data labels to see where we have higher values. So you can see in group C and group A we have very close difference, but in group C and A have only 0.1 difference in percentage, but group B has higher difference. So this is how you can show by gender. And here legend is not needed because data is self-explanatory. Here area of these rectangles actually represent the number. So here we will just go with by study group. Sorry for the noise. So we'll just go with study group. Now, so we have four values like gender, grade level, study group, and extracurricular. For them we have created this, and actually since grade level is given here, so we can adjust these visuals also. Just above that filter we are going to use that. Study group can be kept here, and this visual can be kept here by extracurricular. So like we are just placing them above their filter in their blackboard. Here we will try to see attendance category wise number of students, like how many students are there in each attendance category. For this we don't need average attendance because we have created this column, so we are going to use this as well. So we will just remove everything, and for this let's try to use a pie chart, and in legend we will bring this category, and in values we will bring count of students, like how many students are there. So for count of students we can create a new measure because this will be used later. Although we can use a student ID directly and use count, but here you can add a students count, and we can use count rows, because here every row represents uh, one student. Or what we can do, we can also use distinct count. So this distinct count of column name will give all the distinct values of a student ID. So this will give us how many unique student IDs do we have. So we will just add it here. So now you can see, because of this sunlight, we are unable to read these headings and values properly. So what we can do, we can simply go with properties. Let's say in title we can select a darker version of this color, which is not like this is properly readable. And for these data labels also, we can go with a lighter or darker color. So here we have the data labels or detail labels, where we have values, and let's select this color. Let's see which color will be able to show these values properly. So I'll go with this, because at least I'm able to read that. So this is by study group. So now we have the dashboard. Obviously this is attendance percentage dashboard. We will duplicate it, and here we will try to use English score. So English score analysis, and for this dashboard we will use like this: student performance record data analysis. This will be part 2. I will show how to do that. It will be easy. You just have to use English score, average English score, as your field of analysis. So you can do that. So I will show that in the second part, how to do that. And we can also create a dynamic score. So we can create a dynamic filter here, which will dynamically select either English or math or science score. So I will show you that as well in second part. So in this first part we will keep it this much. As I said, we are not using entire space. Idea was to just use this wall space here and not keep anything on desk. So we have created this dashboard. If you have more ideas in your mind, you can ask them in the comment section or suggest them in the comment section. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, they are all welcome. I will put dataset link in description. I will put some questions in description. So you can create another dashboard where you can answer these questions. Which grade level has highest math score? Do students in extracurricular activities perform better overall than those in none? So you can create a dashboard focused towards these questions. So we will do them in other parts. So this is going to be 4-5 part series where we will do all of this. Finally, I will insert an image from my assets folder, because we are also an institute. So let's say this is our classroom. So if you want to learn data analytics, you can learn at Slidescope. We provide industrial training. So you will learn on live projects. So, and if you are creating a dashboard for a school or a college, so you can put their logo as well. So many of our students work for these colleges, universities, and they need help in creating such kind of dashboards. So you can actually take photograph and put them in background. So try all of that. See you in the next part.